Hi guys, I'm Tracy. So I wanted to put up a really quick recommendations and demo video in preparation for the upcoming Beautylish gift card event, which is pretty much, as far as I know, the only way you can get Sonia G, Wayne Goss brushes at some form of a discount. So at least in the past, if you spend $100, you get a $20 gift card for your next purchase. So you're not exactly getting 20% off up front unless they've changed that, but my understanding, they send you a gift card for your next purchase for 20% of the $100. That's all I know. I've never actually participated in it, but the emails that I've received, that's the information I've gotten. If it's different, then, and you guys know, leave it in the comments below. And another pretty good sale is the Visage USA. If you're in the States, with the code SPRING20, you can get 20% off your Chikuhodo purchases. I did put a purchase in, and they seem to have pretty much everything in stock except the KZ series, and also it's only cheek, eye, and lip brushes that are that qualify for the discount. So, you know, if you want to get one of those big fluffy powder brushes I tried, they don't qualify for a discount. So I'm gonna try to just do brushes that would qualify for these two sales that are either going on or about to go on. So the first one, and I'm gonna put some clips in, is the Sonia G Face 2. So I've been using this very unconventionally, and I've been using it for my foundation. And so what I do is I put the foundation on my face with my fingers, and then I just kind of use this to buff it in. And what it does, it provides a pretty light application of your foundation. So if you really want like a natural look, which is kind of what I went for today, if you kind of want to sheer out a heavier foundation, this is a really nice one to do that with. And this is not what this brush is meant for, so sorry if it's, you know, maybe it will, maybe it won't work for you, but it's, I think, mainly for contouring and blush, and it does work fine for that. I just happen to have a lot of cheek brushes, so I've been using this for foundation. Just something that I wanted to let you guys know that it does work well for. And then the next one, I did a first impressions of the Koyudo BP14. It's this little, it's supposed to be a foundation brush, and I have been using it for foundation, but if you can see, it's so small. So I just use it to kind of get areas like here, like if I have a hard time getting the foundation in with the other brush, and here, and just areas that I want a little bit more coverage. That's what I've been using this for. I was hoping to use it for either blush or concealer, but it's a little big for concealer and it's a little small for blush, at least. Okay, my camera went out of battery, so I took a little break, but I left off with the Koyudo BP14, and so this is the only thing I've really found it useful for, is like targeted foundation. So I don't like highly recommend this. If you have, you know, very fine features, you can probably use it for blush and contour, but do I think this is necessary? Probably not. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, and then now I'm going to do a few of the Sonia G brushes that I highly recommend. One of them is the Designer Pro. So I've had this one for a long time. I believe this was my first Sonia G brush. So what I use this for is to powder my under eyes. So I'm going to put a little bit of the Koyudo lighting powder. So it provides a very light application of powder. So for me, if I powder this area too much, it'll start to look really dry and crepey. So this is a really good job at just lightly powdering your face. If you want like a really heavy application of powder, this isn't going to do it for you. but because I have fairly dry skin now, it's nice to put like a light veil of powder on your face. I don't recommend it for blush or contour, just because for me it's just too fine of a point to be able to contour. I prefer the next brush we're going to talk about, because the shape is more, to me, it's more conducive to contouring. So that brings us to the next brush, and that is the Sonia G Cheek Pro. So I've had this not very long. I think this was in my last haul, or my last haul. Anyways, it is, for me, it's been really great for using bronzer to contour my cheeks. So let me show you the LYS bronzer that I have that I'm really enjoying. So you don't want to put too much. It does provide a very strong application. So I just kind of pat it here. And then I'll show how it applies blush also. So it's not the best for this part. See, it kind of applies for me a little too much on the forehead. I don't like to have this area very dark, but for this area it works beautifully, I think. See how it just so quickly blends the bronzer or contour, whichever one you're using that day. I really like the way it quickly contours your face. And then it's also really great for this part. If you get like a little bit too much, it does blend out like patchiness pretty easily. I know I always end up with uneven bronzer and contour right here. So you just have to really like buff it, and it kind of will smooth out the pigment for you. So that's the Cheek Pro. Highly recommend both of these. And if you can see, these are both been used and washed. The shape really does change after you wash it. So when you get it, they look pretty similar, but the shape is different both from the front and from the side. And the Cheek Pro is much denser. So I don't know if you can, I'm going to try to show you guys. There's a lot of resistance here, whereas the Designer Pro, it's more flexible. You guys could see that. So that's why I prefer this for contouring and this for targeted powdering. Okay, so those are these two. I highly recommend both of them. And I'm actually gonna show you guys the blush application too, since we're here. Us Mood Exposure with the Cheek Pro, and I just pounce it here, and it really quickly will blend your blush in. And if you go in again, it'll provide a pretty strong application for you, but I'm not really going for that today. So that's how this applies the blush. And then I'm going to use this for highlight, which is what I used it for a long time when I first got it. So I'll use this Hourglass. It's in the Sculpture palette. It's not gonna give you a very strong highlighter application. It's gonna give a very natural diffused application if that's what you're going for. But I like it for, you're not trying to put too much on, you're just trying to look very natural. This is really great for highlighter. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the eye brushes. So I'm just gonna go over the ones that I highly recommend. So I have a lot of others that I'm just not gonna be able to demo today. And I might do a follow-up because a lot of them are Chikuhodo, and let me see, I'm not going to be able to demo them with the Beautylish brushes. So maybe I'll do another one if you guys want of my Chikuhodo recommendations. That is a brand I don't have a ton of brushes. My collection is mainly Sonia, Wayne Goss, and Hakuhodo, but I really do love pretty much all of my Chikuhodo brushes. They're all really amazing. But anyways, starting with the first eye brush that I use is the Wayne Goss number 3. So this is his big fluffy squirrel hair brush. So I use it for my, I guess you can say, my transition color. So this is the Natasha Denona Mini Zendo palette, which I really like. And my concealer got all... I also use this to kind of blend out, you know, if my concealer creases, things like that. So this one, it really just lightly applies the pigment. And now I'm going to show you guys the Wayne Goss 4, which is the smaller of the blending brushes. I'm going to use this darker matte shade from the Mini Zendo palette. So this just it deepens out the crease area and kind of makes the outer lid area more defined, if that's what you're going for. And the thing I like about these Wayne Goss squirrel hair brushes, and I guess in general squirrel hair eye brushes, it's really hard to mess up. I mean, you can, but because it provides such a light application, it pretty much looks good right away. At least that's what I've been finding. And then I'm now going to use the Sonia G Worker 3. This is fairly new, so I've only used it for packing and lining, and it works beautifully for both. So I'm going to get this lighter shimmer shade. So this is a shade that is difficult to pick up and difficult to get to show up. But of all the brushes I have, this one seems to do the best job of getting this this shade to work and to show up. See, it's not applying it really strongly, but that's because of the formula of the shadow. It's just the one that it doesn't have a very strong, the shimmer's not that strong, and it's just very light. But later on I'm going to show you guys another way that I use that shade that I think works out better. And then I'm going to use this also for the darker shimmer shade to kind of define the outer part of my eye. So the great thing about this, it's a packing and a blending brush in one. So you could pack the shadow and then blend it in. And I love how versatile this brush is, and I'm very impressed with this brush. I didn't really expect much, but it really is a very versatile, a very efficient brush. So now I'm going to use this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try I'm going to show you guys the Chikuhodo GS9. I think I did demo this earlier, but I'm going to show you guys again how it works I'm going to use this kind of silvery green color just to put it, you know, in the middle of my eyelid. And I love how it provides such a, I hate to use the word diffused, but it does kind of, it diffuses the shimmer for you without having to go in with a blending brush. So I hope you guys can see how that applied. All right, and then now I am going to, something I haven't used for a while that I think is worth demoing is the Wayne Goss 5. It's the his little squirrel hair liner brush, pencil brush. And so I'm going to use this kind of darker matte shade with it. So I used to use this all the time, but now I have other ones that I like just as much, if not better, that I'll show you too. So it provides a pretty small area. It doesn't diffuse the color that much. It pretty much, the shadow will kind of stay where you put it. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I'm going to show you the Builder 3, how it lines. So this color again. Pretty similar in application. I think the tip of this brush is just it's a little wider, so it'll cover a little bit more space, but I think they're both great. These are both great lining brushes, and I know these are both in stock as of last night. So I do want to show the Sonia G Worker Pro, because this is another great one. I don't have a lot more to put on, but okay, I'm gonna try this really light shimmer shade from the Viseart Petite Pro 2. Yeah, Petite Pro 2. So I'm gonna try to film it so you guys can really. I don't know how much that is showing up, but hopefully you can kind of see how this brush is working. All right, so those are the brushes. Oh, really quick, I know this is a lot, but I wanted to I wanted to demo the Detail Pro and show you guys what I think has been really useful. So this shade right here, I've actually been using it as a highlight just because it's not a really strong color. So you can see this just fits perfectly into the eyeshadow pan. So if you're looking to use an eyeshadow as a highlighter or something, this is really great. And of course you can use it for a bigger pan, but I really like how it provides a very strong application if you want to just do a very concentrated area like that. You want to add like a little bit more color to your highlight area. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you guys today. I do have other recommendations. I just didn't want this video to be so long. So I'm thinking I might do a Chikuhodo type of video so that you guys can see how those work. I don't have a ton of Chikuhodo, but the few that I do have, I really enjoy. I'm gonna have to kind of look and see what I have, and it just might not be worth it. But anyhow, those are the brushes that I highly recommend. If you guys have any questions about these, or you want to see some comparisons to other brushes I have, let me know. I have pretty much all of the Sonia G cheek brushes except for the fan brushes. I don't use fan brushes. So if there's any of those that you want to see in more detail, just leave it in the comments below and I'll try to get to it before the Beautylish promotion is gonna happen. I don't actually know. I think it's coming up maybe next week or so. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye.